What happened last month in the Temecula Valley housing market? That's what we're talking about today. Let's go. Hi, Jessica Genung here with the Genung team and Active Realty. I am a realtor here in the Temecula Valley if we have not met yet. Today we are going to be doing the trench report, which is where I talk to you about what's going on in our personal business, and then we're going to be doing a market report as well that is going to run the numbers so you can see what happened in the Temecula Valley housing market. We're going to do Murrieta, Menifee, and Temecula, what happened in April of 2020 versus what happened April of this year. We're going to start with our new construction business, and then we're going to move on to what's happening in our resale business. So my most interesting story lately is in new construction at the Woodside Everview community, which is in Somers Bend. I had two clients that camped out for a week to get homes there. So they have a little bit of an unusual waitlist process. It is nobody else in the area does this kind of waitlist process, but when that community opened, they had over 200 people on the wait list. So they decided to do these campouts, which is a little bit old school. Some communities used to do that a long time ago, like over a decade ago. So you don't see very much of it now, but they did it there. So my clients, they camped out for, it was about 7 days. It was Saturday to Saturday. You have to stay on the property. You sleep in your car, basically. They do not allow RVs. And you're not allowed to leave the property. So you, with a few exceptions. So anybody else that's on the purchase contract, so like my clients, it was the husbands that were doing the camping. The wives were able to come relieve them. And I was able to come relieve them as well, so the realtor can stand in your place also. So they were there a week, so they needed some breaks to go get a shower, to go get food, that sort of thing. So I was there here and there to give them some breaks so they could do that. Towards the end, it got a little bit dicier, I guess, because there is one porta potty for everybody that was there, and there was at least 6 or 7 homes that they were releasing. So there was 6 or 7 people that were doing the week-long campout. There was more that would have been that were kind of driving through, but once they see people are already in the spots, then they kind of miss their chance for that phase. So while that process sounds kind of crazy, because I have had a lot of clients interested in that community, but not everybody is willing or able to do the camp out because you have kids and jobs and things. But these particular clients were able to. But even considering, it's kind of crazy with the one porta potty for everybody, I think that everybody actually, it was surprisingly fun. Like even when I was there relieving them, like people, they're always coming by with food and drinks, and they got to meet their neighbors. So the other people that were camping are going to be their neighbors all around them. Like they never would have had a chance to get to know their neighbors like they did. So I met them on Saturday morning to sign the purchase contract, was when the camping was up, and like when I came out with my first client after signing the contract, like everybody in line there, they like cheered. It was kind of an experience. So let's move on to another builder, Pulte. There's a couple Pulte communities in our area that are taking bids, and I've had a lot of clients bidding on these couple different properties, and we weren't having very much success in the beginning, but now several of my clients have won the bids, so we kind of know where the sweet spot is for these properties. They are going over the asking price. So there's been a few changes to that process with Pulte as well. Like say Pulte, for example, Aspen at Spencer's Crossing, their typical deposit is about $15,000, and as of this last phase, they just changed their requirements a little bit. So not only do you have to put down the $15,000 for the earnest money deposit, but now you also have to add in 50% of the amount that you're bidding over the asking price. So one of my clients that got one of the homes in the last phase, she actually was not the highest bid. There was 2 people that were above them, but when it got to their turn, they were not willing to do the 50% up and over the asking price. So those people dropped out, and my client was willing to do the 50% additional deposit. So that helped them get the home. One important thing to note, which was very helpful for my client that won one of the homes in the last phase, is that if you're using a VA loan, your deposit is reduced. So I think that, I'm just pulling it from memory here, I think it's only $5,000 versus the $15,000 if you're using your VA loan. So even though they had to come in with 50% over the amount that they were bidding over the asking price, their deposit ended up being almost the same as if they were doing the conventional loan deposit. So the resale market is still very hot with lots of multiple offers over the asking price, especially in the hot neighborhoods. But there are some areas that is not as hot where I've been having more success getting clients into escrow. So I don't know if you saw a couple weeks ago, I did a video on how much over the asking price do you need to bid. I'll link it right up here. But this particular client, we did win that property. We were up against 5 offers. It was in Winchester, and that's kind of an important video because I explain how what is a good way to get to the number of how much over asking do you need to go. So Winchester and a lot of areas of Menifee, or even some neighborhoods, throughout Murrieta that have a higher tax percentage, those properties have less offers on them. So like this property in Winchester, we are up against 5 offers. Might seem like a lot, but in today's market, 5 offers that we're up against is good news to me. If you are finding this information helpful, we would love it if you would smash that like button. That really helps us for the YouTube algorithm. It's still especially tough out there for first-time homebuyer clients. A really nice couple that I was working with a couple weeks ago had our first day out, looked at some properties, found one that they really liked. It was listed at about $520,000. It was a Pulte built home in a community with no HOA, and it was listed right at the comps at $520,000, and it was only about 1,800 square feet. I think it was a 4-bedroom, 1,800 square feet. A nice house, but no pool, or not the super hot neighborhood. It's actually the same exact floor plan that's in Central Park, which is a much hotter neighborhood, but it's across the street from that. No HOA here, so not quite as popular, but this particular property was still very popular, and my clients, they're willing to go above and beyond the asking price. But when we checked in to write our offer, it already, was listed at $520,000. They were already over $550,000 and expecting several more offers to come. So those clients dropped out for that property. So I often get asked the question, when are we going to see more inventory, more options for people to choose from? Because it is still very skewed right now towards a very, very strong seller's market, and nobody really has the exact answer. But when we do start to see signs, and I will say from people that I have a network of agents that I talk to that are across the country, and some of them are starting to see signs of the market leveling out just a little bit, which has not happened here, but I'm kind of hoping, because it's starting to happen in some other places, that it will start to happen here. And when signs of that start to happen, I do think that a lot of sellers are going to be more motivated to list their property. A lot of sellers want to move up in property. They want to move up to a nicer or bigger house, or even downsize. People, they do want to make moves, but they can't afford to carry 2 properties at the same time. And with the difficulty of getting a contingent offer accepted right now, those sellers are staying on the sidelines. But as soon as we do start to see that leveling off, I think that we're gonna get some more inventory. I think the buyer demand is going to soak up that inventory, but that we won't be seeing 20 offers on a property. That's certainly not going to last forever. So we always say that we don't have a crystal ball, but we know that you guys watch these videos to get our opinion. And my personal opinion is that the craziness is not going to last for too much longer. I don't see prices dropping that I can tell, but I do think that we'll start to see some leveling. One other small, kind of tiny thing in our business that we're starting to see, that we're kind of hoping is maybe an indication that we're not going to have so much competition on the buyer side of our business, is that we've been having an easier time booking showings. Whereas, even just a few weeks or a month ago, we need to book a showing several days in advance for there to be some slots open on the weekend, but we're noticing a lot more slots open than normal. So I don't know, maybe it's a thing. So why we're always hesitant to make predictions, like I said, you guys watch these videos to get our opinion, and by the time we run the numbers a month or 2 later and everybody else knows about it, then what good does it do you? So we share with you the little signs. We don't know if that will turn out to be any kind of shift in the market or not, but that's our 2 cents. So one interesting thing of real estate economic news that I've been reading about a lot is the home builders construction materials. I'm sure it's on the news everywhere how lumber is up to 300%. All these other supplies are in short supply, and the prices are going up for home construction. So I have heard that some builders have started putting stipulations in their contracts which will allow them to raise the price on you, and then it could even be, maybe you're in escrow for 6 months on a new construction house. It could be right before you close and all of a sudden you have a new price, take it or leave it. So I really hope that we don't start seeing that around here. I did have a little bit of that kind of situation happen with one builder. It was that I don't like very much, and probably will not be doing business with moving forward. Small builder. My client had placed a hold on the home, like we had done the paperwork holding the home, and the price, it was like $600,000 for the home, and then we were going to be doing the purchase contract as soon as they could get it together. It was going to be like a week or two. Well, that week or two goes by, they go to do the purchase contract and they say, the price of lumber actually went up, now it's going to be $615,000, take it or leave it. My client really liked that home, so they took it. We weren't, we didn't really have any leg to stand on because we weren't under contract at that point, but I'm hearing that it's even happening to some people while they're under contract, which is not right in my opinion. We have a couple of things also to offer you. We have a brand new, redesigned relocation guide if you're considering moving to our area. Check that out. That's available down below in the description. It's for immediate download. And also, maybe you are considering selling your home in the area, or you're just wondering, how much is my home worth in this crazy market? We're happy to send you a report on your home value. A link for that is available down below in the description as well. Here comes Chris.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Let's get into the stats. As always, we're doing single family home only. That means no condo, manufactured, no land, anything like that, for Murrieta, Menifee, and Temecula. Now, I've tried to explain this before in other market updates, median versus average. I think I put everybody to sleep. But let me go back to that again. So I've kind of been stubborn about using the average, and average is the total in sales divided by the number of closed sales, and you get the average. But median is probably a better number. So median means in the middle. The median in Murrieta, 600,000 versus 640 in Temecula and 505 in Menifee. Those are nice round numbers. It's nice to look at. So that 40,000 differential between Murrieta and Temecula kind of makes sense. Now let's jump to days on market. Same topic, average versus median. I keep using the average, so we got 13, 11, and 12, but if we flip to median, you'll see basically 5 days and 6 days. This makes a little more sense for what's happening in reality. For example, our listing, I've used this example in the past market updates, where property goes on the market, say Wednesday, Thursday, even if they do coming soon. Some people do coming soon, but say you actually flip it to active and you don't do your showings till the weekend. That's 2 or 3 days there. You have your showings over the weekend, and then you get your offers and you make your decision. So that would make a lot of sense for a 5 days on market, which is basically what happens out there right now. One thing I did do this month, I popped 2019 back on there to just really compare the before times, January, February, and even March of 2019 was sort of the before times. Just like the median, the average, it's just striking. 22% in Murrieta, 659,000 versus 540. 22% in Menifee, 492 versus 404, and then a big spread in Temecula, 743 versus 579 is 28.4%. Closed sales aren't too meaningful to me right now because basically anything that goes on the market sells. It's really more about the active listings, which we'll get to in a second. So 188 in Murrieta, 205 in Menifee, and Temecula 212. Here's my charts with the average days on market. We already talked about that though. So 13 days versus a much bigger number the prior years, 13, 11, and 12 in Temecula, and it's just a big delta between 2020 and 2019. So we already talked about that. The inventory story that we talk about almost every month. 230 in Murrieta versus 338. And then, you know, look at January, February, March in the before times. Look at the big spread. April 230 versus 338 the prior year, and again, it should be over 500. It should be around 500 and as much as 600 in the summer, in the spring and summer, when people put their homes on the market for the school year. Menifee 174 versus 355. 208 versus 311 in the prior year, and again, I'm kind of showing you 2019, the normal times. All right, there's your stats. Thanks for checking it out.
Thanks for watching. See you guys next week. Bye.